What's good? Today I'm going to show you how to make a DJ transition from a higher BPM down to a lower BPM, or the opposite, lower BPM to a higher BPM. But today I'm just going to focus on the high to low, and then you can use that and you can figure out how to do the rest, how to do like a slower BPM to a higher BPM. Um, the example I'm going to use is Show Me Love by Robin. It's the BPMs are 120, and the way that I figured that one out is, well, I have Serato, so it tells me. But if you don't have Serato for some reason, you could do it this way too. You can go to the audio effects right here, click on BPM counter. Because I just used it, it's up here, but you'll find it under metering, BPM counter. It comes up, you just hit play, and it'll figure out the BPM. So 120.2, and you got to make sure that you change your master tempo to 120.2, or even 120 is okay. So what I want this track to do, and it's gonna basically, I'm gonna take the BPMs down from 120, or up from 120 down to 98 to match my other track, which is the Kid Ink song. Let me see, is this how you play it? Yeah. So I wanted to get down to that BPM, which is about 98. So the way I want to do this is I want it to still be the 120 BPM as I mix it from the other track that I'm playing. And then when I mix out into my track of Show Me Love, it's going to gradually slope. So the first 8 bars here are going to be normal 120 BPM. Then the next 8 bars are going to be my like my slope into a lower BPM. And then when it hits the 17th bar, which is that part, it's going to be 98 BPMs, and it's going to go. You could either leave like the track at 98 and let it play out, and then you can mix in the Kid Ink, or we could cut this whole spot off and just paste the Kid Ink song right there. So it goes right into the song, and then you have like a DJ transition. You don't have to worry about doing the mix after whatnot. So let me show you how to do this. So the first thing that we have to do is we want to make sure that when our BPMs are dropping, that the tempo of the actual song is dropping with it. If you don't do this step that I'm going to show you, it won't work. So you have to turn on your flex time right here. This little thing, it should turn purple or blue, and then you click on this little drop down file and go to polyphonic, and that's going to analyze, and it's going to drop a whole bunch of transient markers. These lines here are called transient markers, and they basically mark every time there's like a beat or a note that's played, I think. So you don't have to know anything about transients, but so once you do that, that's cool. We can get back into the rest of this lesson. So I want to drop down this menu, which is our global tracks menu, and it has tempo right here. So it says 120, which is what we're at. So I want it to slope. So I'm going to put a marker right here at the ninth bar, at the beginning of the ninth bar, by just clicking once. And then I'm going to put another one on the 17th bar. And basically, I'm going to hold this down. I'm going to hold down on that marker, and I'm just going to drag it down to the desired BPM, which is 98. And now you notice that it left this little marker here. This is like your slope, so you can control how you want the BPMs. Like if you wanted to just basically stay 120, 120, 120, then drop to 98, you could do it like that. But for this example, I want to make it slope evenly so that when people are dancing, like they're not being thrown off beat so much, or so much at one time. So it'll be gradual so that they can still keep a beat, hopefully. So here's how it sounds before the before our first marker, and you can watch up here and you'll see the BPMs drop from 120 to 98 when it reaches this marker. So let's do that. So yeah, so we're at that point where we can close the global tracks. I want to go to that first right here. So that's where that beat starts right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it by clicking on the file, and my shortcut to cut the region is Command T. And then I'm just going to delete that piece. And what I'm going to do is drag in our Kid Ink song, drop it on the track below. I'm going to make sure that I edit it so that it's nice and tight when it comes in. Then I'm just going to match it up, make sure we're right on. You know, if you do this kind of detailed work in the beginning, you'll have less stress later on when you're mixing. You won't have to worry about nudging and bending a lot. So now let's hear what we got here. And it's going to be very like sharp. Like you could add some kind of effects to mask the transition if you want, or you could just do it like that. It doesn't matter. But here's what we got. So yeah, so that's basically it. Now if you want to know like a scenario where you might have to do this, like when I make mixtapes, I like to sometimes, well, I play like a whole bunch of genres. So if I want to go from like soca, let's say, that can be a very high BPM, down to like hip hop, 90s, 100s, 80s, whatnot. This is a good way to do it without throwing like your audience off that's listening, because you know, like if I was to hear somebody transition from a 130 down to a 98 without any kind of blend or some kind of distraction to my feet, so that I don't notice that everything just went down to 98, like I'm gonna be kind of like, what the hell's going on here? And I'll probably go to the bar and get a drink. So, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people will do that same thing. So this is how you make a transition track for DJing. You could use it, like you can make a ton of these and use them anywhere. And just like I said, you can make them the opposite way too, where you go from 98 up to 120. So I hope this helps people. If you don't know how to even start like a track or a project like this in Logic, you can just send me a message and maybe I can walk you through how to get started. So yeah, so that's basically it. But before I go, let's just hear it one last time from the beginning. And yeah, one more thing. Make sure to follow me on SoundCloud at Jungle Junkie YYZ, or on my Instagram, same thing, at Jungle Junkie YYZ. Cool. Thanks for watching.